What's up, everybody?
I am sure this time.
This is Cameron and Cole straight off of a session where Cole forgot to hit the record button. So the last podcast is going to be on-camera audio that I try to touch up as best as possible. But who knows if that one gets edited first or last.
Yeah,
last time,
that's true.
We usually record a couple to a few of these things, and the last time we did it, I put that last one out first.
Yeah.
So who knows which one you get.
God damn it.
But today, we're going to talk about encounters with the police.
Boop.
I know my grandma's going to be happy about that. So let's get started. What do you got?
Well, I mean, I was just thinking that it'd be fun to tell our stories of our different encounters that we've each individually had with the police, stories of getting pulled over and stuff like that. And then we, of course, have really fun ones when we encounter the police together.
Totally.
Chris, besides getting pulled over, have you ever had any run-ins with police?
Yeah.
I know your one pullover story, but dang, yeah, you got pulled over for speeding, right? Like a cop caught you like coming at you, like you coming at him. I mean,
I forget the story, but it was like way early in the morning.
Yeah.
4 o'clock. He just go, get out of here.
He let you off with a warning.
Yeah.
I forgot about that detail. That's always nice.
That is nice.
And that's something funny about my stories too. Is like I've been pulled over several times for speeding.
Mm-hmm.
Only got one speeding ticket. I have somehow managed to get out of so many speeding tickets. But first encounter with the police I ever had was with you, and it was at Field of Screams, and it was your fault.
I really did Cole bad on this one. This is my fault.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell it?
It was like the anti-bro thing to do. The worst bro shit that you could have possibly done. It's Field of Screams. They've fixed the problem now, but their system of waiting to get picked up after the field was flawed when we got there. You run through the field, you get the shit scared out of you, and then you have to wait on a bunch of haystacks for like the haystack ride to come, or hay ride, whatever the fuck you call it, to come by and pick you up. There's no bathrooms. It's just in the middle of a field. There's no like buildings there or anything like that. There's just tall corn stalks everywhere.
And if you're listening to this and you don't live where we live, Field of Screams is like a seasonal haunted house basically, but it's through a local like cornfield. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
and so, you know, I think it was one of my first times going there, and I was so scared, and we had waited in line for so long that when I got out, I had to pee really bad. Really bad, I had to take a piss. And there not being any bathrooms, porta potties, buildings around, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? And then Cameron's like, dude, just take a piss in the field. And I'm like, all right. Yeah, dude, I will. And so I go out pretty far in the field, and I'm taking a piss. And like we had a couple friends with us, and I can't remember why you decided to do this, but I just hear Cameron yell, what'd you say?
I think I just said I just asked you if you're peeing. Right?
Yeah, I think you're just like, dude, why are you taking a piss out there, or something like that.
Yeah, like being stupid.
Yeah, it's just part of a joke. He was like, why are you taking a piss out there? And then all of a sudden,
we're in the darkness, right?
Yeah, it's pitch black, and then a flashlight.
A flashlight goes like, huh,
yeah,
like up. Like there must have been a cop within our like immediate surroundings.
Heard you say that and was like, someone's pissing out here.
Not
in
on
public?
Not on my watch.
Yeah, not on my watch. The law's got something to say about that. And, you know, what were we, like 15, 16 years old?
Yeah.
Like, if that.
Yeah.
And, this flashlight just beam hits my face. And I'm like, like button my pants and stuff.
So not only your first encounter with like an officer is like intimidating because you're like just out having fun, so you have to like answer questions to this cop. Yeah. But at the same time, it's for something so fucking stupid and embarrassing.
Yeah. It's just not a good first experience.
Because your friend decided to yell exactly what you were doing, so you couldn't even argue it.
I know.
Like, it's not like a cop saw you and you could have been like, oh no, I was just
standing here.
It was like some stupid answer. It's like your friend was literally like, you are peeing.
And
I'm yelling it.
But yeah, this cop was an asshole.
I don't remember any details of that.
Remember he like made me spread my legs and put my hands on my head so he could pat me down.
What's the point of that?
I was
You're
fucking
a kid.
14, 15 years old at the Field of Screams.
Yeah.
And he takes my wallet out of my back pocket. so that he can take my ID out. And he's like looking at it, and then basically just like, you know, gives me a talking to about how that's not decent to do something like that in public.
Cool.
And then hey, Rack Ride came by, and then he just ended up letting us go. But like, I was so fucking nervous.
Yeah.
Like, this was my first encounter with a cop. My penis was just out.
Yeah.
In public, and
you shouldn't have done that.
You're right. That was my fault.
You are in the wrong.
You're
you
right.
broke the law,
It's
and the law handled it, and you don't like how it worked
It's
out.
because of me that cop.
That
had
cop
to
was
give me a
like,
talking to.
like, this is the 8th kid I've caught pissing out here.
And that one kid keeps snitching on everybody.
Yeah.
He's just here all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
Um,
You shouldn't have done that.
yeah. But anyways, that sucked. That was my first run in with a cop. But you remember your first?
Yeah. So one of my first run-ins with the cop that at least I remember is when I started driving. You know, it's a driving story.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, I think, living or staying at Nancy's house, my grandma. And
Shout out Nancy.
And I had my permit, so it was like when you're 15, you can drive to school or to some or like a job, or I guess when you're 16, you can drive to a job. I don't know. Basically, there was only like two. Oh, you could drive to school, and you could drive to like practice driving with someone.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the two. I can't remember, but I took the car, and I legit went to Dillon's down in South, like the South Dillon's down there, and got bread, milk, and like some other just grocery thing. I think my grandma actually was like, "Hey, can you just run and go get me some stuff?" And I got pulled over because during that time I noticed somebody flashing their lights at me, and I had never seen that before. And I was like, "What?" And I realized it's because my lights were off. And I'd never heard. Nobody's ever told me about this. It was me discovering this on my own for the first time. And I was like, and it was in their truck. And I just remember being like, I turned them on and people stopped doing it. So then I would turn them off and see if people would do it again, and they did. And I was like, "Whoa!"
Why'd you turn them off to see if
To
people
like
would do
test
it
the
again?
theory. That
When
that's
you're
what was
driving,
happening.
when you're not supposed to be,
Yeah,
you
at
decided
night.
to do that then?
Yeah, like at night. And I'm like,
Fucking idiot.
oh, like this is so crazy that people do that. Nobody's ever told me about this. So it's like me just doing that a lot, like testing the theory, and I'm having fun with it. And
I'm having fun with it, even though I'm not supposed to be driving at night.
I get pulled over on my way back to my grandma's because the cop said that, like there was a guy on a motorcycle at some point saying that there was a dude in a green truck doing this. So like they were looking for me.
Yeah,
It's not like I was
they had a
speeding.
bolo out on your truck.
Yeah.
Somebody called it in.
Yeah, it was like APB or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't even speeding. They were just like somebody pulled me over looking for that truck.
Jesus.
And like, you know, cop comes up to the car and he's like, "What are you doing out this late?" And I was just like, "My grandma needed me to go get like milk and bread."
Yeah.
And he's just like, he gives me this look like super
that does
skeptical.
sound like an excuse.
And I lean back and he sees the Dillon's bag in the passenger seat, and the fucking eye roll on this guy, like being like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This dude's telling the truth." Like he was so like not let down, but just like
surprised.
I can't believe that wasn't a lie.
That's great.
Like, so he was like, "All right, you fucker. Like, okay, just hurry up and go home.
That's
That's
great.
fucking ridiculous. Your stupid excuse."
At least he was nice enough to let you off. That's cool.
Because, like, you know, in his brain, he doesn't know, like, you know, who my grandma is, or like, you know, who knows my grandma might be to like, you know, the point where she like can't get out or something. Like, he doesn't know that she's not.
True.
Like, she was just like, "Can you go get me some shit?" But yeah, it was just great because he's like, oh, of course you're getting like the most innocent errand you can run.
Right.
So that was my first.
I got a question for Nancy. What you doing to let your grandson drive on a permit to Dillon's at night?
I don't know if I could be wrong.
Nancy.
I don't. Here's the thing.
Nancy, we're gonna have to talk later.
Here's the thing. I don't feel like she would either. So I'm sure there's a detail, but maybe I was 16. I don't think I was. I think I was 15.
Nancy, drop a comment. Leave the real story.
She watched that shit on our TV. She can't like it or comment on that shit. She told me herself.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah,
I got several traffic stories now that you've talked about it.
Traffic stories are the word. And that's another thing too. My first time getting pulled over was another just shitty cop experience. And like we've run into so many like cool cops.
Yeah, for sure.
But like this cop, I'm driving from El Dorado back to Wichita. because I was going to Butler, and I was going like 84 or something like that on the highway. I didn't even realize it. It's because I had never owned a car with cruise control, and like sometimes I'll get to jamming, or I'll get to like looking around, and then I look down at my speedometer and I'm like, shit, I'm going really fast. I need to slow down. And like I wasn't in a hurry or anything, but like I get lit up by this cop, and he turns around and pulls me over, and you know, I give him all the information. He goes back to his car, and then he gets on his big car speaker thing, and he's like, Mr. Campbell, can you please exit your vehicle and come to the passenger side of mine? And,
oh my God.
And so I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I get out and I walk over to his car and I like go, and he's like, hey, just hop in real quick. I need to talk to you. And so I open up the passenger side door and I sit in there, and he, for the next 15 minutes, tells me about the dangers of speeding. And the dangers of me having car paint on the back windshield of my car because somebody like tagged happy birthday or something like that in it. And he just wanted to give me this huge lecture about how you never know if somebody's going to pop up on you, and that it's going to obstruct your view, like speeding. Here's why it's dangerous. Here's why you shouldn't do it. And like then he let me go after writing me $100 and some ticket, which was insane.
What? So he wasted your fucking time and wrote you a ticket?
Yeah. I don't want to lecture. I know the dangers of speeding. I told him that like, oh yeah, I didn't mean to, like all that stuff, which I understand if he doesn't believe me, but it was just so unnecessary.
So you basically paid for a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in fucking speeding.
And I just don't know if he thought I went back to my car and was like, wow, I'll never speed again.
Thank that dude.
Because I actually went back in my car and was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then I just like took off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, come on, man.
Like, oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Switching over to a cool cop story, maybe, so that maybe we keep this a little fair.
That's my next one. Yeah. Cool
okay.
cops. So I'm down for that transition.
Cole. No, this has nothing to do with Cole. I said it wrong.
Cool.
I was driving. I was taking Ashley home, I think, one night before we lived together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when I lived at that old house. Doesn't matter. I lived at a house. And I was driving.
You in details that doesn't apply to the story at all.
Detail person. Like, yeah, I know the motherfuckers when I tell a story, they're sitting there like, oh, yeah. And then I like trail off into more shit, and they're like, fuck you. Just get to the meat, you motherfucker. But yeah, I was driving just down Kellogg, basically. And I got to about where the river is, or like downtown.
When was this?
When I lived at that house on Hillside.
Oh, okay.
Not my house before this, but when I lived with that roommate.
Yeah.
And I was taking her home, and what if I just died right now? What if I just passed out right now and died?
Is this just a random thought that you're having?
Yeah. What would you do? What would you do?
All
right, let's continue. I was driving down Kellogg. I was going down Kellogg, and I got pulled over, and I was like, shit, you know, like what everybody does. Anyway, this cop comes up to my car, and he's like, can I have your license and insurance? Which, that's a whole peeve of mine. Like, shut up, movies. I've never been asked for registration in my fucking life.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I don't even know what that is.
I think it was a thing, but yeah, it's more of a movie thing.
Yeah. They asked me for your license and your insurance, so shut up. Anyway, I did that. I gave him that, and he's like, you know what? You're the 7th person I pulled over in that spot.
That's right.
And he's like, you're the first person to give me both a license that's not expired and actual insurance. He's like, so my rule is every night that the first person who does that, I let go. So go on your way.
I was like, what a crazy rule to have. That's that's wild.
So of course in the car, I'm also like, you telling me that many people don't give you that? He's like, you'd be so surprised. And then he just walks away.
Damn.
And I was like let free. I was probably going like 75 on Kellogg, which is 60. So that was a cool cop story. That made me really happy, made me feel good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Nice. And so it's like this, like I said before, that was the time that I got pulled over was the only time I got a ticket.
Yeah.
I've been pulled over several times since then. Thankfully, I've had really cool cops since then. I did a like cops style documentary at Butler with the El Dorado Police Department when I was in their mass communications program. And I rode around with this cop for a while and like filmed him doing all sorts of cool stuff. That would be a good story for a whole nother podcast because I saw some shit in El Dorado. But anyways, I'm driving. I went and got some food, driving back to the campus, and I'm going like 10 over, and I get pulled over. This guy U-turns, pulls me over, and I roll down my window, got all my stuff ready, and he just walks up, and in my rear mirror, I see that it's that cop that I rode around with.
No
and I'm
way.
like, I don't know if he's gonna remember me or if he's just like a hard ass and is gonna say that doesn't matter. But like he comes around, he's like, hey, sir, he's like, hey, how's it going, sir? And he's like, oh shit, how's it going, man? And I'm like, oh dude, good. How are you doing? He's like, oh man, I'm good. He's like, you mind keeping it down for like keeping it under whatever for me? And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, man, I'll do it. Sorry, I was driving a little fast. He's like, no worries, man. See you later. And then just went back to his car. It was maybe a 15-second exchange, and then he just let me go. And it's so great. You know what's weird is I can't remember the other time. Oh, I got pulled over when I was on my way to the zoo one time, and I was going 50 in a 40, and he pulled me over, went into the parking lot, came out. I had everything ready. Gave it to him. He goes back to his car, comes back, and he just says, "All right, Mr. Campbell, I clocked you going 50 and a 40. Just try to keep it down a little bit. I see you're going to work because I had my zoo uniform on." And he's like, and have a good day. And he just let me off with a warning. No, like nothing else.
That's nice.
So nice.
That's really nice.
And then the most recent one in my new car.
I remember this one.
I'm driving, and this was another like excuse that I knew if I would have told him why I was speeding, he wouldn't have believed me because my grandma was in the hospital in Ark City, and I had made a wrong turn, and I was on a road I wasn't familiar with, and it was nighttime, and I was going pretty fast. I see him turn around, he pulls me over, and it's a younger cop. I give him everything, and he's like, do I know you, man? You look familiar. And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, you been in any weddings lately? I do a lot of like wedding photography and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, I was in one in Nebraska. And I'm like, oh no, I haven't done one in Nebraska lately. He's like, oh okay. You do weddings though? That's cool. And we're just having a conversation about our job. And then he goes back to the car and he's like, yeah, there's not a speed limit sign listed like anywhere super close to here. He's like, basically the general rule is if you're on a country highway, keep it around 55. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll remember that next time. He's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna let you out with a warning, man. Go about your day. I'm like, thanks, dude, appreciate it.
Damn.
I've gotten out of 3 tickets from just casual cops.
That's nice.
It's so nice,
dude. I was in Kansas. I was going to Kansas City for Ashley's like for her work. She was getting trained on a new thing, and so she went and like paid for a class in Kansas City to learn a new skill. And I took her there, and on the way there, I got a ticket for actually speeding. I was going like 100 there.
Jesus.
Like usually, because I used to like on the way to Kansas City with those long roads, I just fucking like I'd go 90 minimum. Like, just because I'm like, I'm not fucking, I hate rides. I hate driving. I hate long. If it's longer than 45 minutes, I told you this before, I fucking hate it. I just can't do long rides. So I'm like, I'm letting this is a 2.5 hour trip. Like,
Jesus Christ.
But anyway, I was speeding and got a ticket, super pissed, but okay, whatever. And then I dropped Ashley off once we got to Kansas City. And then I was, because Kansas City is a lot more hillier than here.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Hillier.
It's got a lot more hills, and I was kind of in this like really hilly area, and I was just trying to figure out where the fuck I was and like pay attention to my GPS, and I wasn't paying attention, and I was not speeding intentionally, but the gravity of pulling you down a hill is not something I'm used to here.
Yeah.
So like before I knew it, I was speeding, and a cop fucking caught me in a little neighborhood going down a hill a little too fast.
Damn.
And
Same day,
like within 2 hours of each other. I got like $550 worth of ticket.
He gave you a ticket for that too?
Yep.
You got 2 tickets in 2 hours?
And I explained to him, like, dude, I just got a ticket on the way here. Like, I totally am I'm not from here, all this shit. That felt like a punch in the stomach that this cop gave me another ticket.
You just got the wrong cop who was like,
yeah,
it's part of the job, man. I still got to give you one.
And I just remember pulling over on a side and like almost crying because I was sitting there like I just couldn't believe that in one day I racked up over $500 in tickets.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Like, and me and Ashley were staying overnight at this place. So like we were about to do like a hotel and probably go out to eat and shit. Like this trip was now going to be fucking way expensive.
Yeah.
It was it's devastating.
And then you just
so
got that
pissed.
to think about the whole entire time.
Yeah. Like that's history now. It doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah,
but
of course.
at the time, oh my God, I was pissed.
Jesus.
That was ooh. Damn. I just remember Ashley, like me telling her that and her just having to be like, I'm so sorry. That sucked. But I got another one unless you got one.
If you got another personal one, I've just got you and I stories after this.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I got 2 personal ones.
All right. Really
Really quick. I left your parents' house one time, and I was staying the night, and I I was listening to 50 Cent so fucking hard in my car and getting so hyped up. I got pulled over on 21st Street because my ass was like bouncing in my car so fucking hyped for no reason, listening to like Into Club.
You got pulled over for
just speeding.
Oh, okay, for speeding. Okay,
but
you
the
made it
music
sound like
got me so hyped.
You made it sound like he looked over and then saw you just going normal speed, being like,
oh, he pulled me over for being
like,
so fucking extreme.
Being like, I need to check on that guy.
It's on coke. No, and but fucking 21st Street's so big when you're heading back towards Zoo that it's like, oh, you just feel like you can go way faster. And I remember getting pulled over there,
speed trap too,
and getting a fucking ticket.
Damn.
And then recently on Easter, I had to call the police. Have we talked about this yet?
We did.
On the podcast?
No, we haven't. We
Okay.
haven't. No, I mistook it for just another like homeless story that we had told about the house.
So yeah, there's a my abandoned house next door that homeless people sleep in, or do whatever in. I don't know. Anyway, on Easter this year, there was I saw this guy like in a tracksuit, like a black Adidas tracksuit, blonde with like sunglasses on and a duffel bag, like fucking
No way that's a real person.
Yeah, like the way I described it was like when you see movies of like people in New York, like on the streets, fucking like
that own jewelry shops.
Yeah, shit like that. Like he looked like he was in like that Uncut Gems movie.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And motherfucker just like goes walking down my street, and like next to my house, the sidewalk ends in front of the abandoned house next to me. The street doesn't continue, so it's this guy's walking, and then he just kind of does one of with his shades on, and then he just like fucking is going straight, and he just dips into the house immediately, like fast. I'm like, great. Like, okay, I see homeless people do it all the time. I'm like, this guy doesn't look homeless. This dude's either dropping off drugs somewhere, doing something weird.
Yeah, the duffel bag's weird.
For all I know, there's a fucking meth lab in there. I don't know. Do you need electricity to do a meth lab, Chris? All right. And
Chris just goes, yeah,
definitely doesn't have electricity.
You need this much voltage to
yeah.
sustain a meth lab.
So I call the police, and I was just like, I'm not a person to call the police for like anything, but I'm like,
snitch ass.
This motherfucker goes in this house. I call them, and they're like, all right, stay on the phone until the police arrive, because it's like a suspicious person or whatever. Don't be suspicious. That's just stuck in my head all day, every day. Anyway,
cool.
Fucking police arrive, and before you know it, it's just like 2 cop SUVs, and I feel bad because I'm like, if my neighbors are home, they just assume me and Ashley have like a domestic violence dispute.
right.
And anyway, before you know it, there's like 7 or 8 cop cars in the area, and like you can look out the windows of my house, and they're surrounding the house with their guns out.
Damn.
Like, and just yelling like, "We know you're in there. Come out now!" Like they're fucking yelling like a movie into this house.
Awesome.
And it's just Easter, and me and Ashley like, fuck, like something bad's gonna happen. We're gonna hear gunshots in a moment.
What if there's a shootout?
I know.
Bullets flying through your house and everything.
And like again, there's only one house next to me that direction, and then it's like eventually you hit highway, and it's like so nobody ever came out. This is an abandoned house that's technically owned by somebody, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
They all eventually just left because nothing happened.
Yeah. Like they must like law wise not been able to like go in there or do anything.
So I know now that if I want to commit a crime,
all you gotta do is run in a house.
all I need to do is run into the house next door,
wait it out,
and just sit there and play on my fucking phone, and the police can't do shit.
Hell yeah.
Fuck you. I have immunity in this broken down house. Because that's how my world fucking works.
Like a safe zone in tag or
it's
something.
The dumbest shit ever. Go in the fucking house. Get this dude.
He just opens up the window. He's like, I said no take back seats.
Yeah, dude.
Did you not hear me call it?
He's like, I'm king of the mountain. Come get me.
I'm higher.
Oh, you can't come in here because it's against the rules?
Oh, no. I guess you'll have to leave.
Guess you can't touch my meth lab. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, so then it's like, okay, if that guy saw me, like, look at him, and then I called the police. The one time I was like, something's going to definitely happen. This is worth calling the police. And all the police leave with their guns drawn, like, all that shit. And then the guy's like, well, fuck that guy living next door. The exact fear I talk about of, retaliation.
But there's no way
like,
he knew that you called.
It's like, you motherfuckers. Like,
I do think one of the funniest details of that story that when you told it to me was that you looked out, like, in your backyard, and there's just a cop out there that just goes...
Yeah, there was a cop in the backyard of this abandoned house that was like just
with his gun drawn.
Yeah, he had his gun out, and he's just sitting there, and he's like every 2 minutes, because I watched him because I was waiting for some shit to pop off, and I watched this cop back there.
Doesn't give a shit.
It's just some fucking like dad cop, just like yawning. Motherfucker's tired. He's probably like close to the end of his shift. He's been up all night. He's like, this fucking guy, please come out. Like, he's got his gun out, not alert.
Oh god,
Like,
that's amazing.
Just fucking about to fall asleep in this backyard.
oh, that's great.
I couldn't believe it. But that's other than stories we've had together, that's on my list.
And you know what's crazy is we're at the 25-minute mark, I think, and so I don't even think we have time to tell police stories of us together.
Damn.
But
Diggity dog damn.
If you what?
Nothing.
If you'd like to hear more,
Yes.
let us know. We definitely have some funny ones together. But yeah, God, the image of the cop yawning in the backyard is one of the funniest things I could ever think about.
I tried to record it on the camera, but the screen in my window was affecting the focus of the DSLR, and I couldn't really get a good version of it. But yeah, no, it was fucking funny to watch him. So I'm sitting like, this is such an intense situation. They're like screaming at this guy,
Right.
and he's just back there yawning with his gun like in position out in front of him, ready.
When he told me that, I was just thinking like if you got any sort of like smarts, even though you're a criminal, you know, which most of the time people that do that kind of stuff aren't the smartest people in the world. But if like you're peeking out the window, like wanting to shoot at these cops and escape,
That's the guy that's getting shot first.
and you see a guy that's just like yawning and not paying attention out there, yeah, he's definitely gonna get shot first. Canadians, Jesus Christ! Oh my God. Anyways,
Thank you for your service,
yeah.
sleepy policeman.
All right. Sleepy policeman. I hope you're getting lots of Z's.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's been fun. I'm so glad that this was a recorded podcast.
Yeah, Cole hit record on this one.
I did.
If you have any awesome or like interesting police stories, comment those sons bitches.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them.
I'd love to get to the point where people are commenting stories that we can just read, almost like we're doing a story time, like a storybook telling thing, like
For
on the
sure.
podcast, because I feel like that'd be interesting as hell.
Definitely.
To like hear from other people's crazy stories.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, feel free to comment all that stuff.
And we read all your comments. We love seeing them.
What if one's like, yeah, I got away with murder one time, and like the chase was awesome. Like the chase was super rad. It like leaves detailed messages about.
If any of you have been in a police chase,
Oh man,
please let us know.
that'd be so awesome.
Because that would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Minus the murder.
Right.
But if you murder somebody, let us know too.
Yeah, we'd prefer it if our viewers didn't murder people.
Yeah.
But hey, money's money. Viewers are viewers.
Gotta make lemonade.
Yeah. That's what my grandpappy always used to say.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you rape or murder. You gotta make some lemonade. Jesus Christ.
Yikes.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, smash, all of it. Until next time.
Yeah, yeah.
What you want? What you got? What you gonna do?
Is this the cops theme?
For you. Bad boys, bad boys.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Chris?
Chris just stands up and jumps out the window.
Chris isn't even there. It cuts back to Chris and he's gone.
He just disappeared. All right, goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, God.